Welcome back to the journey. As you know, this journey is all about listing, but I feel a sense of civic need to kind of explain a bit about business, about what it is we do for Australia as business owners, and not me specifically, but I do want to share my story. I really feel right now there's two polarized views on entrepreneurs and business. There's one side has come out of this budget saying that paying tax is a civic duty to the business owner, and therefore there should be no benefit for them selling the business. And there's another side who's saying, well, you're encouraging business owners to move overseas and entrepreneurs to move overseas. I think there's this misconception that somehow business owners are tax dodgers. And I think what's really important is you actually guys get an insight into how we actually contribute to the economy, how much tax we actually pay, how debilitating it is. But I also want to give you some insight into the actual difficulties and strain of this. And I do not want a pity party. I am so blessed and so grateful for every single thing I'm experiencing. I love my job. I love what I do. I love my position. I wouldn't trade it for the world. But I do think I need to speak for those who are at that part of the journey that I was at, call it 6 months ago. No, sorry, not 6 months ago, 6 years ago. Just getting started in this particular business 2 years in, and even my previous businesses, because those people going through that hurt portion of the business, right now, I don't feel like I'm being heard at all. They're being pulled in with the billionaires of our world and being told that we're not good for Australia. So my journey is simple, and you've heard about it in a few videos. Almost went bankrupt a whole bunch of times, moved back in with the in-laws, lost multiple cars, houses, moved my wife and child into the in-laws' house and then into my mother's house when my father passed. So the business failing impacted me, impacted my wife, impacted my life, caused massive strain to the household. And it wasn't my first failure. It was one of many. I had multiple different failures along the journey. And failure, unfortunately, is part of it. And the mindset of an entrepreneur is that failure is kind of a mark to our credibility, because you cannot be successful without failing. And we understand that. And we take that risk with the promise that one day the good times will roll. And when I say the good times roll, there's different levels of it, right? So there is the level where as our business is growing, we are excited and the good times are rolling. But as our business is growing, we're under the most amount of pressure we've ever been on, because what people don't realize in business growth is how much pressure that puts on cash flow, how much pressure and fatigue that puts on your team, how many things go wrong as you go from 3 million to 30 million to whatever. Because every day you're experiencing business through a growth cycle is a day you've never experienced before, and a day that you can't call upon your years of experience to get you through. The only years of experience you have was at a smaller stage. And anyone will tell you a business earning 2 million and a business earning 7 million are totally different. And a business earning 30 million are even more different still. In fact, I would argue that the business earning 2 million is probably more profitable, making way more money than a business earning 30. And how can I justify that? The perfect example, we had to raise capital. This year, our business will do 22 million in revenue, and we're close to break even. Whereas in year 2, we're on 1.7 million revenue, and we had a profit of 1.4. Now, it was quite intentional for us to break even because we had to invest in the growth of our business. If you guys remember, Amazon went 10 years without a single dollar profit before being the giant that they are today. And we have visions and aspirations to be a giant, not of Amazon's caliber, but within our own sphere of control and our own ambition. But as we're going through that, one thing I want you to understand is the tax is real. So on all our revenue, there's elements of GST in there. We employ, call it 80 or 90 people, whether full-time or part-time, but mostly full-time, on very high wages. And I know you will say that the tax we pay on their behalf, the PAYG, and the superannuation is their contribution from their sum. But if I can give you some insight right now, as an employee, you're receiving your net money. You're working for your net money. And we are employing to give you your net money. But the thing we have to pay, your PAYG tax, is our expense. And I know you're saying, no, that's their contribution. No, well, we have to make the money as business owners to pay that. We have to contribute that money from our cash flows, from our profits, or from our revenues, because there's not always profits, from the money we raise. So I know you're saying it's their contribution, but we're the ones who have to come up with it. And I respect that. But to say that doesn't come as our expense, but it's a staff expense, I'll leave you to your own opinion. Again, I'm not crying poor. I'm not asking for your concern. Thank God we are doing well. But we are employing a lot of Australians. We are paying a lot of GST. And even though we've lost money, we're growing the business to employ 100 more Australians next year, God willing. And then we are targeting profit next year, which means we'll be paying the return on that and paying everyone else's PAYG and paying our tax for whatever distributions we have. But there's another element to our business, which is vilified in the Australian media at the moment, on one side, I would say, and being vilified by the current political parties is designed to represent everyone. We have a construction arm to our business, right? That construction arm is, on average, a month, paying out invoices of $3 to $4 million every month. Now, each house we have being built right now costs about $500K, and then we put our profit on top. Our profit is nowhere near our expense. So of that $3 million, we are employing electricians, carpenters, we are employing plumbers, roofers, tilers, floorers, carpenters, blinds, painters, gyprockers, engineers, architects, name it, consultants, geotechs, all those companies that we're paying $3 to $4 million a month to are employing 12 people here, 15 people there, 4 people there. And those people are then paying their suppliers, the electricals, the cabling, the timber, the gyprock, the concrete, and those people are employing other people. We have investors in our company. Those people are relying on us to make great decisions to preserve their investment, which is mum and dad money in their investment fund. What I'm suggesting here is not that you feel sorry for us for the risk we take. We take that risk willingly with the hope and ambition that it means something to our families and ourselves financially. Not to feel sorry for my investors. They have backed and supported me with the hope that they can change their clients' lives. And most of them are our staff who believe in us, and they rely on me to make great decisions for them. If I go bust, they all go bust with me. And they've taken that risk because they believe in what it is we're doing. Feel sorry for none of those. I don't want your exemptions on tax, whatever. I was going into this paying 25% to the government on whatever I make. I saw a comment on one of my posts the other day that said that business owners don't go in to this in order to get the exit. I'm sorry, you're wrong. When a business owner registers their company, they dream of that exit. That's our super fund. That's our future. That's our kids' inheritance. That's everything to us, right? So I went into this expecting to pay 25% tax. I'm not willing to pay more because I actually have views on what I want to do with that money, which is not focused on myself. And if anyone wants to see any of my track record or history, please look up Give Kindly. Please look up some of the social objectives. Again, I don't want your praise, but I actually feel like I can do a better job with the returns of whatever I sell this company for in multiple years from now to benefit society better than a government who's employing 20% of Australia's workforce right now and not really spending all too well. And by the way, not a slight of the Labor Party. I don't think any government does a good job, respectfully. But I have ambitions for what I want to do with that cash. I do want to change the world. That's every entrepreneur's vision, is to change the world, and I will. I don't want any kind of consideration, exemptions. I don't need any of that. I'll figure it all out. What I do want, and not for myself, you can roast me in the comments, I don't give a shit. I want you to give some courtesy to the 18-year-old who's got an idea. Some understanding to the 20-year-old who feels hurt by the scope and ambition. Every single business owner you see right now is eating shit. Without exception, there's not a single business owner in the world right now who's got a work-life balance, who feels comfortable every day if they're in the first 10 years, right? Who is sure of payroll, sure of paying their ATO benefits on time, who is sure that the right decision they're making today is the right one for them in the next 5-6 years' time, is under a considerable amount of pressure. They are not sleeping, right? They are not sleeping. Some face anxiety. Some face depression. Some can't handle the pain of losing, which we inevitably all do. But please, God, give them the benefit of the doubt. They are going and enduring through things that you cannot imagine. And if you're on there and you know exactly what I'm talking about, because I know I'm hitting about 85% or 90% of the business owners out there who feel this, you know I'm not talking shit. If you have a business owner friend, give them a hug, say it's from Pete. It'll get better. Inevitably, it does, but sometimes it gets worse first. Each day is different. The world is getting polarizing. You're either pro-tax the shit out of everyone or pro-supporting business. They're the only two clear lines that everyone's giving you right now. You can be both. I don't care. You can still hate business owners. I don't care. But give some respect to those young up-and-comers. They're about to experience hell in their own world. And please don't compare it to soldiers fighting or people going through things. Everyone's got their own versions of hell, right? And I give kudos and respect to everyone experiencing that. But these guys in particular need your support. Whether they're trying to run $1 billion business or just trying to wash cars on the side of the road. It really isn't that serious. We're all here to take care of each other, right? It's no hate needed. But if you want to hate on me in the comments, guys. I'll still love you anyway. Take care. Top of this page, you'll see the link to the next episode. Subscribe to watch more and press the next link.